Welcome to Keeping It Real, the largest podcast for real estate agents and by real estate agents. My name is DJ Paris. I am your guide and host through the show. And today on the show, we have our monthly series called the Monday Market Minute with Carrie McCormick from the Carrie McCormick Real Estate Group with At Properties. Carrie is a top 1% producer in Chicago with over 20 years of experience helping buyers, sellers, and investors. In fact, in the past 12 months, out of 44,000 real estate agents in the Chicagoland area, Carrie is currently ranked in the top 15 of production of all realtors in this area. She's a true superstar and an expert in everything from first-time home buyers, veteran investors, and luxury properties and new developments. In fact, she's representing a new development that I am in the process of hopefully closing in the next month or so. She also works with a lot of developers like the one that I'm working with, and is also often chosen to represent their high-end developments. Please visit Carrie at her website, which is Carrie McCormick RE, and everyone should be following her on Instagram. She has absolutely the very best Instagram account I have seen for real estate agents, and that is Carrie McCormick Real Estate. Correct? Is that right, Carrie? I want to make sure I got that right.
Yeah, and I'm almost to 10,000 followers, so anyone listening, jump on Instagram, go to Carrie McCormick Real Estate, follow me, help me get to 10,000.
Once she gets to 10,000, she gets all sorts of different options to even make her Instagram account work even better. So this is a very big deal. And think about how much value she's provided the show over the years. She's been with us almost since the very, very beginning. She's the first regular guest we've ever had on. She's never missed a month, and she needs your help. So let's help get her to 10,000. So go to Instagram right now and look up Carrie McCormick. That's 2 C's in McCormick, Carrie McCormick Real Estate, and you'll find her. And also just a great Instagram account to look at to model your Instagram posts after. And Carrie does all of it herself. So you should be following her anyway, but let's help her get to 10,000. Anyway, yeah, you're welcome. Let's welcome to the show once again.
Thank you. Happy January. Happy 2021, everybody.
Yeah. Happy 2021.
Yeah, it's going to be a good year in real estate. So up on my screen, I know you guys can't see it, but I'm just going to read it off to you. I do pull the Chicago Association of Realtors. We call it Fast Stats here in Chicago, and it's kind of a good glimpse of just what's going on in the market, overall. But it's they do these little quick facts, and I'm just going to read them off to you. So this is year over year change. Right now, new listings for both detached single families and attached, which is the condos, are down almost 40%. So that means we have low inventory. Okay. What's under contract right now for detached, which is again the single families, is 30%, and attached, which is the condos, is up 30% as well. So again, we're talking just basic economics, supply and demand. We have low inventory, we have high demand going into 2021. So what that means is prices are going to go up. So if you're selling out there, if there's any sellers listening, now's your time.
And it's also a good time too for buying because rates are still so incredibly low and people can just afford more than they could. So it's sort of a perfect storm where everyone in a way sort of benefits.
It is. And I do, people are buying, and there's a few reasons I think 4 key reasons that people are buying. Yeah. One, just like you had mentioned, is low interest rates. I mean, it's unbelievable how much you can get, and the rate that you can borrow at is just unbelievable. And each of us realtors has our great go-to people. So, definitely low interest rates are pushing the market. COVID has created this work from home environment. So people, even if we get the vaccination and things under control, a lot of companies are realizing that it is more cost effective to have people working out of the homes, and it is working. So there's going to be definitely more work from home space that's needed. In addition, outdoor space, right, is especially people that have kids or dogs or just need somewhere to go. They want outdoor space. They want to enjoy life a little bit more, right? So they want to be able to sit out on their patio. So outdoor space is making this push for people to move. And people that have been in their homes for a while, they're avoiding renovations. They don't want to redo their kitchen. There's two sides of it. There's people that, are staying that do want to do renovations, but some people are like, you know what, let's just move. Let's just go find a new home. I don't want to do the renovation. We need more outdoor space. We need an office, and interest rates are so low. Let's go buy a house. And that's what we're here for. So that's really made this big movement in the market, especially in the single family home market.
And it's been a lot of activity in the suburbs for some of those same reasons, right? People want more space. They want some outdoor space as well, which is a bit more difficult, of course, to find in the city. But then there's, like, I know the property that I'm closing on that you're representing I have an outdoor space on the roof, and that was very exciting to me as well, knowing that I might be inside more due to what we're all experiencing. So even city properties that have some of this outdoor amenities or balconies, that they've become probably a bit more important than in the previous years.
Absolutely. It's just, I know I said single families, but like you said, there's condos with great large balconies or rooftop decks. Anything that can accommodate what their needs are is selling. So, it's really a fabulous time. Like you said, it's a perfect storm to be a seller and to be a buyer. A lot of questions that people come to me with is, okay, so now we're hit in 2021, is what's going to happen this year? And, nobody knows.
Where do you think pricing is going to go?
That's a great question. Of course I don't know, but just like you had mentioned at the beginning of the show, I've been doing this for, a little bit over 20 years, and I've seen our market go like this. I've been through the 08s. I've been through a lot of small turns, big turns in the market. And again, this all hinges on supply and demand. And for, the agents that are seasoned, just kind of this boots on the ground of just talking with people, you kind of know what's happening. I think pricing is going to stay strong this year. And again, it's going to go to the supply and demand. Nationwide, housing has rose about 8%, and that's from coast to coast.
Wow.
I have a lot of great colleagues in the LA market. I've got colleagues in New York, Miami, Colorado, Wyoming, everywhere. And we have calls, group calls, just to kind of check in. Our conversations are all the same, meaning everyone's having a phenomenal market, low inventory. So I think, since it rose 8% last year, we're going to see the same. And we're going to see the same here in Chicago. It may differ based on the neighborhood that you're in too, right? Because Chicago, I think, is like a market within a market.
Yeah.
Bucktown may perform very different than Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park will be different than South Loop. We all have these micro neighborhoods, and they all perform independently. But it's going to be determined based on our supply and demand. So again, if there's sellers out there, I would urge you to put your home on the market.
So I wanted to ask about timing. So right now we're in January, and that tends to give sellers sometimes pause because they think, well, maybe there aren't a lot of interested buyers, or I just don't want to deal with it because it's the winter and we're all a little bit, more depressed in the winter, or we're just more sluggish. What are your sort of thoughts about timing it for putting a home on the market?
It's a great question. And actually I just came from an appointment with that. And I'll say a quote from my mother. My mom always called me a very rebel spirited person, from a young age. And I kind of go against the grain a little bit with where the world is. It's kind of all been turned upside down. I like to push properties on the market when others aren't, like keep your home on for the holidays. I always, Super Bowl tends to be the kickoff of the season for real estate. So once we get into February, we're going to see a flurry of properties coming on the market, which, your client's home might get lost in. So why don't you put it on now? So I say, when the home is ready, and that isn't important, I was going to talk about too, when the home is ready, get it on the market. There's buyers out there now looking, or start doing some sort of pre-marketing campaign, do your off-market, make your phone calls, get your emails out, do some sort of marketing for your properties now.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good suggestion. It also helps with agents who might be a little slower themselves in the winter months. And that really sort of dovetails into my marketing tip of the week, which is, this is the time. So Carrie just gave a bunch of great information and sort of statistics around, why people are buying and or selling, right? It's a perfect storm, as we said earlier, of low interest rates, low inventory, high demand. So we've got this going on. Most markets in the country are experiencing this. So right now, when it's a little colder and things are a little slower, this is the time to do the old-fashioned reach out to every single person in your database and just check in with them. Say, hey, how are things going? How are you doing? What are your thoughts, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, about your living situation over the next year or two? Because right now, I mean, as real estate professionals, we just assume that, and I'm not saying Carrie doesn't assume this, but a lot of our listeners probably assume that their clients know that it's a low interest rate environment. I bet a lot of people don't know that because it's not top of mind. It's not even top of news anymore. Obviously, we have much bigger news happening on a daily, hourly basis right now, unfortunately. But there's a lot going on. We have a new president that's coming in a couple of days. So right now, the news cycle isn't really focused on low interest rates. So a lot of people, it's kind of off their radar. And if, in particular, if anyone's renting, of course, this is a great opportunity to reach out. But even if they have a condo, they might be looking around saying it's time to upsize, or maybe, which again could be a sell and then a buy. So this is the time just to call every single person and just say, hey, I was just curious, what are your plans? Because they might not realize, what the actual environment is. They just know they're stuck in their home for the next several months before, we're able all to get vaccinated. And now's the time to lay that groundwork, because once we're all able to go outside again, it's just going to be harder to get in touch with people. I mean, people are going to be exploding in their social life is going to explode, and we're all going to go out and do the things we couldn't really do. And so now we have this little window of time before everything's back to normal. And I think it's a great opportunity just to touch base and then update your CRM, whatever they tell you, put that information in. And
Yeah. One thing also before you wrap up the show, I wanted to just touch base on and tell people is I have a list of 3 must-dos for selling your home. And these are the 3 rules that I live by when I meet with my sellers. One is price your home right. It's a very difficult conversation to have with sellers. And I get it, because I think every home is special. I really do. But it's important in this kind of environment too, when I talk about supply and demand, is that sellers seem to get a little bit of like, well, it's, it's a seller's market. I can price my home at whatever I want because there's low supply. It's not always true. Buyers are very savvy in the market. They have access to the internet. They can watch, the trends and price things out. But more importantly, it's the appraisals. Appraisals are going to become a very important strategy that we need to think about when pricing the home, is that it appraises out. And really, you only have one time to make a first impression in this market with your home. So I would rather price it where the market is at and let multiple offers come in and let it beat up, raise up your price that way. So pricing is important. The second thing I was going to say is keep your emotions in check, because sellers are very emotional or can be very emotionally attached to their home. That's what we're here for, right? We're here to keep the emotion out of it and to make sure that you're making decisions that's best, for your financial needs on that home. So get your emotions out of, selling the home. Hire a realtor that can help guide you in that. And the last thing is prepare your home with staging and just have it show ready. One agent said to me, and I love her for saying this, she said, it's a beauty contest out there. Whichever property is the prettiest is going to win. So our job as brokers, again, is to help prep that property. Again, every home's got their individual style, taste. I'm sure it's wonderful, but you've got to prep it for the market. It has to look perfect for when that buyer comes in. So it is a little bit of a beauty contest out there.
Yeah, and we're living in a beautiful sort of social media world, right? Where we have the ability to make everything look perfect. We're used to seeing things that look perfect, and you're going to want to spend a little bit of time and money, whether it's the agent spending their own money or convincing the seller to invest a bit, to make sure that property does look almost Instagram ready. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to look really appealing, because that's what we're all used to doing as we scroll infinitely through social media on a daily basis. This is what we've been programmed now to almost see is these sort of perfect, which makes the job of the agent obviously a lot more difficult, to not just have the pricing conversation, but now to say, okay, now we really have to talk about that couch has to go, or which I'm sure can be very difficult, but boy, it really makes a difference.
It does. It does.
I remember when I first started in this industry, and this is about 11 years ago. And I'm really just a marketing guy, so I didn't know much about real estate. And I know the prevailing thought even then was almost have the room empty. You want somebody to be able to visualize their stuff in the room, and that's really shifted. Where people, I think it's not as important for people to visualize; they just want to actually see something that looks really, really great.
Yeah. And I've had buyers that come in and say they just want it all with furniture and everything. They want
Yeah.
it to go turnkey. So again, it's our job as brokers to help, navigate our sellers through this and the buyers.
Awesome. Well, this is a great place to wrap up. And I want to remind everyone also, if you haven't yet followed Carrie on Instagram, please go do that. Go to Instagram, search for Carrie McCormick Real Estate. So at Carrie McCormick, 2 C's, Carrie McCormick Real Estate, and follow her, help her get to 10,000 followers for all the nice things she's done for our show over the years. And if you're in the Chicagoland area and you haven't checked out one of Carrie's developments, Alcove, check out Alcove. I'm going to be moving in there. So if you want to live near me, you can check out Alcove. It's beautiful. It's really cool. It's in Wicker Park. They have condos and townhomes, and it's really cool. So just Google Alcove and
Podcast from there once you're in.
yeah, that we will. We'll do a podcast from there. That would be super fun. Maybe from the rooftop spot, if possible. But anyway, we want to thank Carrie as per usual. Also, by the way, visit her website, carriemccormickre.com. It's an excellent, really cool website for agents to really get a sense of, what a good looking website for a broker looks like. And by the way, if there's any buyers, sellers, any agents that just even have questions, but any buyers or sellers that want to work with you, Carrie, what's the best way they should reach out?
Always call me, 312-961-4612, or email me. It's Carrie@atproperties.com.
Awesome. Carrie at properties, which is atproperties.com. Guys, thank you once again for always listening and supporting and viewing our episodes, our shows. Please tell a friend. Think of one other agent that could benefit from listening to our show, and send them a link to our website, which is keepingitrealpod.com. We have every episode we've ever done is there to be streamed. Even if somebody's not a podcast person, they can listen right on our website. And then please follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/keepingitrealpod, where we post every episode we've done, as well as every single day we find an article written to help agents grow their business. So again, facebook.com/keepingitrealpod. Carrie, thanks once again, and we will see you next month.
Sounds great. Have a good day.
Thanks.